The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the terrific Thursday, the November 9th edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Hey, let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Now, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, well, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check out the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I want you to know I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But even more important than that, and that's this, during this next 53 minutes, I am here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. We'd love to hear from you at 877-927-6648. Now, if you've got a question, but you can't call in, we've got you covered there, too. Just send me an email. Send it off to Steve at TFNN.com. And inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tigers Den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Terrific Thursday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. A slightly mixed bag out there. You got the Dow that's up 69 cents. And that is basically flat. 279 for the S&P, flat. 30 points for the NASDAQ 100. That's a 0.2% move. Russell's 0.2 to the downside. 4 points. 41 points the upside for the semis. So we're not going to see any kind of market top until the semis form a top out there. If we take a look at Goldilocks, up $8 and change. Silver's up 24 cents. Light sweet crude up $1. Natural gas off a nickel. 30-year Treasury down nearly 23 ticks, trading out at 114.03. Leading the charge dollar-wise, the upside, you've got Transdigm Group up $92, a 10% move. Nice move there. MicroStrategy up 8% or $39. Duolingo 20%, $32. Pretty cool app. My 8-year-old granddaughter uses it, and she's teaching herself to speak Japanese. Pretty cool. You've got Fair Isaac Corp up $25, nearly 3%. Lamb Research, 18 buckaroonies, about 2 7/10% move to the upside. The shakers to the downside, Eli Lilly leading the charge off $22, 3.5%. HubSpot down $18, 4%. Becton Dixon down $18, 7%. Viva Systems, a 9% move to the downside. Shockwave Medical's off 4%, nearly 8 buckaroonies. So we've got some movers and we've got some shakers. But let's begin the day by taking a look at what? Let's go take a look at the equity future contracts. So let me get those up on the screen, and then we will go take a, where is it, right? That's not it. Where is my, that's weird. Oh, here we go. Okay, so now I just need to, sorry about that, folks. Stevie's apparently got a vision problem from last night's Keiko Matsui concert. By the way, what an amazing show she puts on. What's really cool, it's, I've been fortunate enough during the last 7 days to have seen 4 really great concerts. They kind of all have come in, not another scheduled till April, at least on my calendar at this stage of the game. But last night's band, it was just a trio. Jeff Kashua, who's the saxophone player that typically plays with her, I think had some other show. But so it was just her, a bass player, and a drummer. Now, this bass player, guy from Holland, I believe is where he's from, he is amazing. The sounds that he can get coming out. I mean, the only bass player that I've seen that was more, in my lifetime, that could really operate an instrument better than this guy would have been Stanley Clarke. I haven't seen Stanley's son play, so I can't really say there. But and then they had this drummer, this guy from Cuba. I think I haven't had a chance to look him up, but he's got to be a genius of some sort. He held the band. He was the best drummer of all the 4 days. She was the best piano player. You could tell that they must have some kind of of really in-depth training. I mean, they were tight as can be. It was really fun to see that. In any event, I know that's not why you tuned into the show to hear about Keiko Matsui, but look, if she is in your area, you should really go see that concert. We're taking a look at the daily equity future contracts out there. So if you caught the opening of the show, what we have here is bar number 8 that's going to complete today inside the ES Mini. Now, in order for a TD9 count a topping pattern to form, first, today's close has got to be above the close of bar number 4. The close of bar number 4 out here was 43.76. Put that on your pad of paper. Price closes below that today, the whole pattern gets negated. Let's assume that doesn't happen. Tomorrow, the close has got to be above 43.8425. So we're not talking about any kind of significant move to the downside in order for this pattern to complete. It's not a guarantee that the pattern is going to complete. Yeah, I agree with you with regard to Jaco Pastorius for sure. So, yeah, absolutely, he is great for sure. There is a new profile that's attempting to form inside the ES Mini. It's been on and off again throughout the morning ever since about 5 o'clock. It's back on again right now. 44.43 is the top of that profile resistance. This is bullish in structure. This says on a retracement, price should find support at 43.39 to 43.63 out there. Remember, when you get a topping pattern, it's just about, we don't know where it's going to lead to, but we do know that what price is gunning for is support. And so now there's 2 levels of support inside the ES Mini right now. The bottom, that new profile, we won't know till tonight, tomorrow morning, if that has taken hold. 43.39 would be the first level. 43.03 would be the next one. But it does look like we're likely going to get a TD9 count topping pattern inside the ES Mini. And that would suggest that we're not going to see a whole lot of activity, at least to the downside today. If we take a look at the NQ also is forming bar number 8 as it goes to target its swing point that it's trading inside. I think that's October 11th or 12th. What was it? It's the 12th out there. The high of that swing point is 14.568. You're trading above yesterday's high. That's a bullish signal here. So there's no reason for the NQ to not reach out to the 14.568 level. Now, it's going to be easier for the NQ to form a TD9 count top. Why? Because bar number 4's close is likely not even close to being in play. And bar number 5's close out here, this is the one for tomorrow, is going to be at a 15.232.50. So did I say 15? I did. 15.2. Why did I write 14.568? 15. That's too funny. There was obviously a transposition there. 15.468. I said 14. So sorry about that with regard to where price is headed to. But you guys knew that Stevie was just, must have been the Heineken. In any event, if we take a look at the Dow Equity Future contract out here, it's behind by a day the ES Mini and the NQ on its counts out there. Price is up at the resistance zone area. It's inside that swing point. 34.305 is that area. Now, there's also a new profile that's attempting to form here. This is very small in nature. The bottom is 33.881. The top is 34.315 out there. So it's kind of interesting that we got the NQ's profile is gone. There was one that was trying to form earlier. But again, we really won't know till the end of the day. What I can say here is we don't have a topping signal inside the Dow. We do in the ES, we do in the NQ. We don't inside the Russell 2000, at least for their daily time frames. Nonetheless, I believe the market is getting ready for some type of top. It may just be a short-term one. That's what it's trying to do. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back. We'll start taking a look at requests. We can always go back to the markets out there, and we'll see you in just a few.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. Yeah, one of our dinners, JB in the Tiger's Den saw Keiko years ago, and it was kind of cool last night. It makes a lot of sense. You know, I was fortunate enough this year to travel all over Europe and in Asia, and we really enjoyed the trip in Japan. And I think I've shared with you, you know, we did go to Hiroshima for the day. At first, we were kind of, I don't know if I want to, we're there having a good time. I don't know if I want to have such a somber, but it really was worth. We said, now we've got to do it. How can we not go? How can we not go check it out? And so what was really cool about Keiko is she's really big into peace. You know, pretty much nearly everybody I hear, nobody talks about peace or how to get there. It's just war, 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 war. And she was in quite an environment last night. We're in a very small theater. It's called the Boca Black Box. I'd be surprised if it held 200 people, but something like that, very small, and a very Jewish population. So, she was talking about peace. And, she's really kind of having to thread the needle there. But I really appreciated it. She's got a bunch of experiences from Hiroshima. But it's so amazing to me. It's the Japanese people that are sitting there saying, would the rest of the world wake up? Maybe come visit and see what it looks like, a complete annihilation out there. In any event, let's get back to the charts out here. There was a request from Dizzle inside the Tigers, and he's taken a short inside of silver, and he was looking for about a 50-cent move out there. So the first thing, Dizzle, and taking a look at the charts out there. So I think you're probably more interested in the short-term chart. So that being said, what I would do, if you're in your short position, is I would right now focus on the 30-minute time frame chart. In fact, I'll switch over and we'll try to take a look at some shorter-term time frame, the 30, maybe the 30, the 10, 15, something like that. Anyways, the reason I'm having you, and I'm going to expand out, the reason I'm having you focus on the 30-minute time frame chart is because there's a TD9 count top. Just my quick review of those charts that have on my screen out there, I didn't see any other tops out here. So it's the 30-minute chart that's going to answer your question whether this is a good trade or not, or when to get out of the trade. Because that TD9 count pattern is just so wonderful. Because if price closes above a TD9 count top out here, it's telling you we're going to head higher. Now, the head higher level might only be to 2308. That's the next breakdown area. So that could be a resistance. But if it closes above it, you've got to be very careful. Now, this is a 30-minute bar. So 10 minutes from now, the bar following bar number 9 is going to complete. I'm assuming we don't take out the highs that took place in that last 30 minutes, that high being 23.07. So what should take place here is price should pull back to 22.78. That's the oscillator and change line. Now, that number, that line is going to move up and down. Don't use it right to the T, right to the tick out there, but price should move down there. But if you get a close above that, I would jettison that position. The reason I would jettison that position is because if you take a look at that daily time frame chart, what it's telling you is it's unable to bust price down, bust price to the downside. Its profile is strong support out there. That profile has been tested basically 4 different times. The fourth time, which would have been today, it should have been able to bust through it. It was not able to. Silver wants to head higher. That doesn't, but you and I, we're taking a look at an intraday type time frame out there. So you got to be careful. Silver definitely wants to move higher out there with its next target just simply at least being the top of that profile, and that's up at the 23.30 level. Look at this is really important, I think. Just it's small, but it's important. Where is price trading right now compared to yesterday's candle? Above yesterday's high. You can't get a more bullish signal than that. Of course, we're looking at intraday charts too, but just you got to be careful. You definitely have that TD9 count pattern, but boy, you've got to be careful on the short trade. I'd rather you try to short something else, quite frankly, than the silver at this stage of the game. We haven't taken a look at the U.S. dollar index, but that's actually back a bit out here. I think this is a somewhat dangerous type trade out here. Yesterday's move was really important out there. I just think there's better shorts, but what do I know? So I hope that helps you out with regard to silver out there. You know, look at those 10 and 15-minute charts. In fact, let me see if I can pull one. I'm first got to close this out here. And where do I have something? I think I've got that maybe in my just the day trading set of charts that we look at here on the show. But let me pull those up. I'm going to try to pull them up. I'm going to pull them up. Now, what's going to show up here first is the NQ, which we'll come back to that. But so we've got a 10 and I've got a 5-minute. Okay, so let's do this. I should have done this first. I didn't. That's okay. It is what it is. So we're just letting this here populate. What I want you to do is and now I'm not going to go look at the 5-minute chart. We're going to get really granular on this. And what you want to see, at least on the 5-minute time frame chart for silver, is you don't want to see highs of a prior bar get taken out. You just want to see from a momentum standpoint, the highs maybe not even getting touched, but a further move lower out there. At least that's how I'd be looking at based upon the knowledge that we have with regard to silver. But I want to see the 15-minute chart and the 10-minute chart populate, see if there's any kind of a topping signal or anything. I see new profile. So the 15-minute has a TD9 count pattern as well. The 10-minute does not. So in the case of the 15-minute chart, I know we were looking at the 30, which had longer to go to the downside. Should price move lower on that 15-minute basis out here, its price target is going to be 22.93 or 22.90. You know, that's only a 3-penny move out there. It doesn't mean it's going to hold, but that would be that price target. Now, on the 15-minute time frame chart out here, we're so far seeing prior lows move. You know, we haven't seen the high get taken out on it, but on the 10-minute chart, we are. I don't like this trade. I don't like this trade. So enough of silver. I've given you my take on it, and best of luck to you on that trade. Let's go take a look at the next request that came in. This is from Coda Inside the Tigers. They wants to take a look at the semis, the SOXL. Now, is the SOXL? I believe that is a double or a triple. Is it SOXL? Is that a double or a triple? Let me see here. That is the 3x. But I'm going to show that to you. Here you'll see that today is going to become bar number 7 on this. This is trading right now into potential resistance. That is the top of its profile. The top of its profile, SOXL, that is up at 1937. And the price closes above that, suggests to move to 2089. However, what you and I really want to do is go take a look at the SOX itself. I'm assuming that that's what it's trading off of, not the SMHs, which are totally different set of components than the SOX itself. So I've got a tool that will allow us to do that. I've just got to find that radio show. Where is it? The indices, radio show. Radio show. That's not it. Gosh darn it. Oh, here it go. Okay, it was right in front of me again. Vision problems. Must be the vision problems from last. This is not going to be what I was hoping it was. Son of a gun. How did Stevie do that? That's okay. I can do that. This has got the DAX. Oh, so the DAX. Take a look at the DAX. This is important for us to look at. Everything happens for us, and we'll get back to the semis out here. But take a look at the DAX. So the DAX, bar number 7 today, and it took out that TD9 count resistance level. The NQ, the odds of the NQ closing above yesterday's close is really high. The DAX and the NASDAQ are very, very correlated for reasons I can't tell you. Not because I can't tell you, because I can't tell you out there, but we can take a look at what it's doing and what it's signaling to us. So what I'll do here is I'll get the semiconductor index up on our chart here, and we'll take a look at this when we come back to the break. The reason being that I believe there's the TD9 count that is in place out here. And that's what the SOXL may not be picking up. But I could be wrong about that. We'll find out in just a few.
The Gold Report. As a precious metal, gold is still king. It continues to hold the most effective safe haven and hedging properties across the global major trading hubs of the London OTC market, the U.S. futures market, and the Shanghai Gold Exchange. The Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his weekly gold report every Monday morning for subscribers, consisting of coverage of the XAU, HUI, GDX, the dollar, bonds, the South African rand, as well as 25 different mining equities with specific buy-sell recommendations. The Gold Report. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Subscribe to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report newsletter now at TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has just launched their new trading room, the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. And now they are expanding their reach with the Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. In the Tiger's Den, you can look over the shoulders of Tom O'Brien and the other TFNN hosts while they analyze charts during their live Tiger TV programs, and join an interactive trading community with hundreds of members exchanging ideas. Interact with other tigers and tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day, even at night and on the weekends. The Tiger's Den at Discord is accessible on mobile or tablets as well, so it's always at your reach. To sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders, just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. So we're taking a look at the semiconductor. It's got the same signal that SOXL did, which was a bar number 8 is going to form today. This has got a 90% chance of forming a TD9 count top. It will confirm that pattern tomorrow, complete that pattern on Monday. Price is gunning for the 35.57 level. That's its TD9 count breakdown area. Now that swing point, and it's also trading into a swing point. So you watch this swing point out. That's a swing point from October 12th. Volume, well, I've got the index. I can't get volume. Sorry about that. The other area of resistance out here is 35.40. That is the weekly oscillator and change line. So this is showing us the SOX is likely to form some kind of top. Now, it's not. Here's what you can do for the day out here. Is today going to be when that top is going to take place? Well, I would say that if the current TD9 count top that's in place on a 30-minute basis, and that high out there is 35.1929. You write that down on your pad of paper. If you see a 30-minute close above 35.1929, this pattern gets negated, and it's a likely occurrence, in my opinion. Price is still trading above that green oscillator and change line. So from a 30-minute standpoint, momentum is strong to the upside, even though it's got a Rhodes momentum indicator top, a TD9 count top. But again, you close above that high. Again, that high is 35.1929. This tells us that we are headed higher out there inside the semiconductors. So I hope that helps you out. That was for Coda inside the Tiger's Den. Coda also want to take a look at AMD. So let's go take a look at AMD, see what it is doing out here. We'll get to that chart here momentarily. AMD on a daily basis needs to poke above yesterday's high to get a to signal that there's the potential for a TD9 count top as well. Now, it doesn't have to do it today. It's just got to do it either today, tomorrow, or on Monday, it being a poke above 115.32. If we get that, then we have a successful TD, and then we have a successful bar number 8, and the likelihood of a completion of that pattern the following day, at least through Monday out there. So AMD is suggesting that price should pull back. Now, AMD support, the first level of support, will be the top of its daily profile, unless a new profile were to form. Right now, the top of that profile in AMD is out at the 111.31 area. Only a close below that would signal move back to its oscillator and change line, currently printed at 107.93 out here. The weekly chart, very strong and bullish. Prices above last week's high, prices above profile levels. The monthly chart says it wants to go target the 120.09 level. A 30-minute chart, I'm looking at it off screen. I don't have any kind of topping pattern at the moment. So that's what we see when we take a look at AMD. Coda, I know you wanted to look at Ethereum. We'll do that momentarily. I'm first going to go to Coinbase. This is for G-Man inside the Tiger's Den. And G-Man, you've got Coinbase right now that is taking on potential resistance. That's where price broke down from. And that's at TD9 count, I'm sorry, you didn't need me to spell coin for you. That's at 95.95. We're trading right now at 96.19. Taking that out, and I mean closing above it, is a bullish message and would suggest that we have higher price to go. The weekly chart is trading above all profile levels. That suggests we have higher to go. The monthly chart is trading above profile levels. That suggests we have higher to go. Now, the higher to go target right now would have to be the swing point. I'm looking at a monthly chart from the week that ended July 14th. That high out there is up at the 114.43 level. The swing point that gets us there takes us back to July 14th. And there was volume of 42 million shares. Now, price is really close to getting towards that swing point. So watch the level of 101.22. If price closes inside that, even if it's with lighter volume, and lighter volume would have to be less than 42 million shares out there, it still could move higher. But if it closes inside that swing point with more than 42 million shares, and so far today in Coinbase, you're at 11 million. So 11 million, we've been trading for 2 hours. It doesn't have the volume, but if it does close inside that swing point, tells you the likelihood is that this is going to continue higher. You got to gap up this strong bar. You're trying to take out resistance, but watch that 95.95 level. If price closes back below, it just tells you how strong the sellers still are from back at that stage of the game. So I hope that helps you out with regard to Coinbase. And that was for G-Man. Ethereum was another request here for Coda inside the Tiger's Den. So let's get to that chart out here. And we take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is negating a TD9 count topping pattern today. And that says this wants to run higher. We've got to figure out where that higher is. But right now on the daily time frame, you've got a negated TD9 count pattern out there. Let's see, what pattern do we have? So you come back and take a look at it. Certainly an A to B equals CD pattern out here. It's achieved more than the 1-to-1 level. Maybe we'll do this on my other screen here. Let's take a look at the, because there's a number of different A to B equals CD patterns out here. ETHE is the symbol out here, the weekly chart. Strong as can be. and the monthly chart. So here's our price target. At the end of the month, you're going to get a confirmed TD9 count top. Now, it may be next month, maybe December, that identifies that top, because the top can come on the bar following bar number 9. But we're getting to a period, and the weekly and daily say, well, we're not getting that close, at least at this stage of the game, to a move higher. But let's go take a look at Ethereum's A to B equals CD patterns. We're going to switch charts out here. We're going to go over and first start with the weekly chart. Why? Because the weekly chart has less noise, and we'll have really the underlying A to B equals CD pattern out here. So we get rid of the noise, then we come back to the daily charts. It's going to have several A to B equals CDs. But here, we're taking a look at the bottom coming into December of 2022. That's our A point. And our B point out here is going to be 1117. It's going to be the high from the there we go. It's going to be the high from the week of April the 10th, and it pulls back for a few weeks into a low on June 12th, 2023. So you're above the 1.272 level. That says the next area for it to run to would be 1774. So 1774 would then take you to, am I on my pot? Yeah, would take you back to this swing point area from back here in August of 2022 out there. So that's where it looks like it's headed to. I'm not saying it's going to stop there, but it looks like that's where it's headed to. So that gave us what, 1774. So I'm going to go with 1774 to 1901 as the upside price target area for Ethereum. So I hope that helps you out. ETHE. Let's go to our next request. Well, the next request is from InnoVisual inside the Tiger's Den. And his request was a question, but still a request out there. And the question was, if I believe it was, I'm really paraphrasing here, if the ES Mini and the NQ are getting ready to form a top, how does the VIX come into play to confirm that as well? So it's an excellent question out there, and it's one that I can actually answer for you. How can you answer it? We'll answer it by going to the charts. Now, you'll see on the very left-hand side, you've got the daily ES Mini chart. Bar number 8 for me today, new profile that's showing up there. And if you look at the spot volatility, that is your right-hand side. Today is also going to be bar number 8. So, we're likely going to get TD9 counts inside the spot VIX. This one, the TD9 count pattern here in the spot VIX, only Michael and Niagara Falls can play this one to the upside, which I believe he's going to do. The question is, when is he going to go ahead and fire? I'm looking at the spot VIX out here. Now, in that spot volatility index, its first target was that lower Bollinger Band. Once it gets below the 50-day exponential moving average, it's that lower Bollinger Band. Now, when I say a lower Bollinger Band, what I'm referring to is a 50-to-1 setting. That is not the typical setting inside of the Bollinger Band settings. But for the spot VIX, it works so well. So you've got TD9 counts. That's InnoVisual, how that's going to come into play. Everything seems to be lining up for a bottom in this VIX and a top inside the ES Mini. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstat's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstat breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years years' experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. My apologies. I still had the black background screens for Ethereum up on my charts. Here is the spot volatility. Seeing is believing. So you've got that bar number 8 that's going to complete today inside. Now, in the case of the spot volatility, so let me just go back there. First, today has to close below the close of bar number 4. So that level out there is at 1491. Then tomorrow, price has got to close below 1489 in order for the pattern to actually form. So if this pattern is going to identify the next bottom in the VIX, next top inside the ES and the NQ, it still has to fit those requirements. It's also telling us to expect not a ton of price movement today and tomorrow, especially when it comes to the VIX signals out there. So here you can see gold's got the TD9 count, bottom bar number 8 today. You've got the same thing inside the NQ. You got the same thing inside the ES. You got the same thing inside of light sweet crude. Nobody's asked about light sweet crude just yet, but it's going to, it looks to me like it's going to form a TD9 count bottom pattern out there, so worth taking a look at. All right, so let's get back to our questions that came in. The next one was from Johnny. He wants to take a look at the GDX. I don't have it on this chart, but I do have it on this set of charts. So here, so you can see in the case of it's weird. In the case of the GDX, what the GDX did yesterday was it tested a prior swing point. That prior swing point, Johnny, was a TD9 count bottom. That made 2761 a real important level. Why? Because the price closed below it, said we were headed lower, but that didn't happen. And yesterday's test was on lighter volume. That TD9 count bottom that took place on November 1st had volume of 29 million shares. And yesterday, it was 25 million shares, is my recollection, at 25.6 million shares. That is a test and rejection on lighter volume. Now, what price should do with regard to the GDX should go target 2851. Was yesterday the buy signal? It's possible, but really in order to do that, we just have a consolidation with inside profile levels when we take a look at the GDX, much like we have the same thing, consolidation with inside profile levels when we take a look at silver out here. But there certainly is potential, Johnny, for a bottom to have formed inside the GDX. Really waiting on gold, right? You and I know about that directional correlation between gold and the GDX, the miners out there. So we really need to see this TD9 count bottom take hold. Now there's an A to B. I'm not going to say there's a daily A to B equals CD. There's not. And the reason is because the swing point you'd use for the C point just had too much of a retracement. That was November 3rd. It was like an 83% retracement. So that kind of negates that pattern. So it's really about the TD9 counts out here that gold will need to generate to form that next bottom pattern. Now, with regard to the GDX, the more important thing to really do is go take a look at what's going on underneath the covers. So I'll show you what's going on underneath the covers here, because if you're looking for a bottom inside the GDX, and you certainly want to see that inside the GDX holdings. Now, we're going to switch panels here, because the panel that's going to come up are like the at the lower end of the weighting structure for the GDX. Not that they're not important, but they're at the lower run. So I'm just going to take a look at the top 8 with you as soon as my screens here help me out. And the top 8's got Newmont Mining. So in the case of Newmont Mining, Johnny, you're going to see an A to B equals CD to the downside. This is the number one weighting. Maybe it changed since yesterday, but was the number one weighting. And so I would be waiting for a bullish reversal candle before I would take a long position inside the GDX. It's an A to B equals C to the downside. There's nothing telling us that it won't continue to move lower. The only thing that would tell us that it's not going to do that is a bullish reversal candle. You've got the same thing with regard to GOLD. It needs a bullish reversal candle. Short of that, price wants to target 1439. Those two instruments make up a pretty decent percentage of the GDX, is my recollection. AEM. AEM doesn't have any kind of a bottom signal, but at least it's back inside its profile out there. Now here in Franco-Nevada has a TD9 count and Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. That's already in place, but you could get a second one today depending on if this generates a bullish hammer candle or not. We don't need that, but Franco-Nevada is definitely telling you and I it's certainly attempting to form a bottom. We take a look at WPM, just a consolidation with inside profiles there. In the case of GFI, Goldfields here is testing a swing point. That swing point has volume of 4 million shares. It's being tested as we speak right now. It's too much volume. 1.4 million shares with 2 hours of trading. Seems to me like too much volume. It may reject it, but if it rejects it, it tells us it's going to be back down there if it does that with volume. AU, I don't have a bottom signal out here, nor do I on RGLD. So when we really start to take a look at the top 8 instruments, make up, I can't tell you what their percentages off the top of my head. You can do a quick search on that and figure that out. The top 8 instruments are saying, okay, even though on the GDX we tested and rejected that swing point on light volume, what's underneath the covers says, hold on a minute here. At least the top 8 positions out there. So that's where you've got to be some cautious. But also, it would help if, in fact, gold does form that TD9 count bottom and it takes hold out there. So, Johnny, I hope that helped you out with regard to the GDX. Rachel writes in, and she wants to take a look at ticker symbol VERX. So we're going to change screens for that. It's going to take a moment for these things here to stop, and that's not what we're looking for. Give me a moment here. I just have too many things that are open, but that's, I can... do we look at the NDX charts? I don't know if we did or didn't. But that's all right. Let me get back to where I might have put in BERX. There we go. So now we're taking, this thing is taking off like a rocket ship. And Rachel would like to add to that position out here. So we got to try to figure out where that is. So right now you've got Vertex that is taking out daily profile resistance at 2472. It's traded above resistance on the weekly chart. It's on the monthly chart, is forming bar number 9 of, not seeing it? Hold on. Sorry. That's weird. What screen did it take then? Screen. Thought I did that. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Mr. Bill. Thank you, Al. Inside the Tiger's Den. So we got now we got Vertex Pharmaceuticals up. And so on the monthly basis says that this could be or should be forming some type of top between this month and next month. It ain't today, that's for sure. And this is telling us that it really wants to run higher out there. So we take a look at topping patterns or topping signals out here. The only one that's present that I see at the moment on the weekly basis, I'll go take a look at the daily, is a Rhodes Momentum Indicator signal. It needs a bearish reversal candle. You're asking, where is it that you add to your position out here? The add to positions, so we take a look at this daily time frame chart. The answer that I would have given you yesterday is the place to add would have been at 2216, the bottom of its daily profile. That clearly didn't happen out here. And so now where's the next add? The next add is going to be on some type of a pullback. And it just, so there is a B, C, D, E, F. So there is a wave number 7 pattern that is in play out here. So maybe you're going to get some type of a pullback inside of Vertex Pharmaceuticals. That won't begin until you see a lower high. So wave number 7 needs to have a lower high. So in other words, you get a higher high tomorrow, that G letter continues to carry over until we get that. If we do get that, then what you're going to have to do is pay attention to that, and then maybe get back to me, or certainly watch the 30-minute time frame chart out there. Right now, if we look at that 30-minute time frame chart, the 30-minute time frame chart would have said to us that yesterday, let's see, where was that low? 2239. The close yesterday was 22 2240. How about that? So there was a 30-minute TD9 count pattern that would have at least given you a signal that there's your place to add. And that's what I'm suggesting that you would do on the next pullback, is look to the 30-minute chart and look for a signal such as that. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. My apology. VERX, which is the symbol we were looking at, it is Vertex. It's not Vertex Pharmaceuticals. It's Vertex Inc. versus Vertex Pharmaceuticals, which is ticker symbol VRTX. I want to make sure Rachel knew we were really looking at the right symbol out there. So thank you, Dan, for clarifying that. We've got two more requests out here before we close out today's show. The next one is for Johnny D. inside the Tigers. I want to take a look at Pfizer. Pfizer looks basically ugly. So on a daily basis, we've got no bottoming pattern. We have a Rhodes momentum indicator signal, but now prices below that red oscillator and change line. So it's gunning for its most recent low out there. That was from October 31st. Now, that swing point has 42 million shares. So far today, this has done 10 million shares. So you are pulling back with lighter volume. Nonetheless, a close below 30.27, Johnny, would suggest a test of that swing point low, and that's at the 29.70 level. If we did get a bullish reversal candle and that pattern doesn't get taken out, or that low doesn't get taken out, that would then generate a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom on the daily, and that would suggest, okay, it's getting ready to try to move topside. Now, it still has to clear resistance levels, with 31.71 being a real key one. The weekly chart looks pretty good. You're going to complete a TD9 count bottom pattern this week out there. It doesn't even matter if we get below last week's low. And on a monthly basis, a TD9 count bottom pattern will form this month. So Pfizer has some potential, but of course, remember, folks, if these TD9 count patterns, they don't guarantee a top or a bottom. They just tell us when the more likely time frame is when that could or should occur. And therefore, if price takes that out, that tells you that Pfizer wants to head much, much lower. So I hope that helps you out, Johnny. The last one's going to be for Dan inside the Tigers Den. Let's take a look at the trade desk. TTD is the ticker symbol. So the real battle here in the trade desk is going to be the top of its weekly profile. And that's at 8109. That's where its oscillator and change line is at as well. The monthly chart says that it should be able to get up there because it's trading above profile and it's trading above that oscillator and change line. You got a beautiful TD9 count bottom that formed out here that was on the trading day of October 26th. And it looks like this wants to go target 8265. But the reason why I hold off on the 8265, Dan, 8109 is going to be your next key resistance level. Folks, thanks so much for the request out there. Thanks for putting up with me not always being on the right screen. I want you to have a terrific Thursday, and please join me on Fantastic Friday. Have a great day. Be safe out there.